I have a story that I share with the kids about the way that we frame relationships and giving, and I wanted to share it with you guys. The story goes like this. There once was a great grandmother oak tree. Every year she would make hundreds of acorns. These acorns were her babies, her seeds. And so she would put all of her love and energy into her seeds, and when it was time, they would drop, and they would sprout and try to grow. But there was a problem, because grandmother oak tree's branches were so big, they blocked the sunlight, and her little seeds, they were starving for energy. This made grandmother oak tree really sad. It made her realize that she couldn't take care of her own kids on her own. She needed help. What she needed was a relationship. So she looked all around, and out in the field she saw a squirrel. A squirrel was out there digging holes, chewing on grasses, doing squirrel things. And so she called Squirrel over. She said, "Squirrel, I want you to plant my seeds for me. Take them out into the fields where they can grow big and strong." Now Squirrel, he didn't want to be a part of a relationship if he wasn't going to get anything good out of it. So Squirrel says, "Well, what's in it for me?" Now grandmother oak tree knew that she needed to give something good to the relationship, so she says, "Squirrel, I see how you're always getting chased by that fox. If you plant my seeds for me, I can give you shelter. You can come up and sleep in my branches, and then you'll be safe." Now Squirrel liked digging holes anyway, so he said okay. And he went out and planted her seeds for her, and at night he slept way up high in her branches, and they had a good relationship. But then winter came, and when winter came, all of the grasses died, and there were no more berries, and Squirrel got hungry. So Squirrel said, "You know, I like planting your seeds, but I'm sorry, you're going to have to find someone else. I've got to go look for food." Now grandmother oak tree knew that relationships are always growing, always changing. And so she said, "Squirrel, wait, that's silly. That's silly. Let me help you. I can make more food. I'll make twice as many seeds, and you can eat half of them. Plant half out in the fields, and the other half you can save for winter." Now it was a great solution. So that year, Squirrel planted half, and the other half he kept in a very special hollow that grandmother oak tree made in the base of her trunk. And that winter, he was a fat and happy squirrel. So happy he invited his family to come and stay. Soon his brothers and sisters and uncles and aunts, there were many squirrels all living in grandmother oak tree, all planting seeds for her and also saving some seeds for winter. Now after a few years, these squirrels started to forget about giving something good back to the relationship. They started to forget about planting seeds, and instead they started saving all of her seeds. When grandmother oak tree looked out into the fields, instead of seeing baby oak trees, she just saw grass, and it made her really sad. Instead of yelling at the squirrels, instead of trying to punish them or tell them that they were bad, shaking her branches at them, she didn't do any of those things. She just realized that if she wasn't getting anything good out of the relationship, then there was no reason to give anything good back to it. Basically, she realized that if none of her seeds were getting planted, then there was no reason to make any seeds. And so that year she didn't. And we all know what happened to the squirrels. Not only did some of them starve, but all of them had to leave their home and safety and go look for food and seeds someplace else. And those squirrels learned a really valuable lesson. They learned that in order to get something good out of a relationship, they have to give something good back to it. And the squirrels have never forgotten. Every year, the squirrels plant seeds for the trees. And you'll see them out in the lawns, out in the fields, planting seeds. And I laugh every time I hear somebody say that the squirrels are doing that to save them for winter, because that's really silly. That's not a good place to save a seed for winter. It'll sprout. Somebody else will find it. They put the seeds out in the soil because that's part of the relationship. That's what they give back. They do save seeds close to the trees for eating, but mainly they're planting seeds for the trees because the trees give them food and shelter, and that's an example of how relationships work in nature. The end. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy that story. I made it up and I've been sharing it for a while, and feel free to share it with your kiddos. I think it helps frame the relationship in such a way so that we can shift from this idea of trying to control the other, control what's not us, and get something out of a relationship, to shift it towards understanding that we give to relationships, that we give and give and give, and that our most powerful feedback is by changing what we give, that we can still operate on that giving side of the paradigm, on the giving side of the duality. We can still have this tremendous power and influence just by shifting where we give our energy, shifting what we do, what we give back. So yeah, anyway, that's a good ramble for now. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and yeah, I'll catch you later. Bye.